Okay, so today we are going to cover the file handling, and in this chapter, we'll be talking about the introduction, why we deal with the file handling, and what are the types of files which we'll be dealing. What are the benefit of dealing with the files? Then the data files, how you open the file, what is file object or the file handler. Then file access mode we'll be talking about. Okay. So the first thing is that why we need a file. It's a simple thing, like in general, if you talk about, we need a file to contain certain documents. Document contains information, so ultimately the file is required to contain information. uh, in general also, we keep different files to contain or to keep different type of information. For example, if you talk about the physics practical file, or the chemistry practical file, or the computer science practical file, or any other practical file you talk about. So these file, contains information of different subjects. Because the subjects are different, that's why you keep, the information of those subject in different files. Similarly, in terms of computers, if you want to store information, so the information which you store within the system, they are of different type, and that's why we require different files to store these different informations. uh, if you remember, when you store information in terms of computers, you start with MS Paint, right? Then you deal with the with Microsoft Word, you deal with the PowerPoint, you deal with Excel, you deal with Access, you deal with let's say the video, the VLSI, video player. So all these files which you store, whether it's a video file, whether it's a documentation, whether it's an Excel or presentation file, or any image, these all are containing information. And since the different applications are involved to store the information for the different types, that's why the different extensions are there, to store information of these types. For example, if you talk about the presentation, you have got PowerPoint, and the extension for this file is .ppt. You know about that. For the documentation, you have got .doc or .docx, right? Similarly, for the Excel, you have got XLS, XLSX, right? And so on. So these, extension shows that what sort of information this file would be containing. And this is just to segregate, internally system, because system stores different type of information to segregate what sort of information the file is containing according to the extensions are basically being made, right? So this is just to distinguish that this file would be containing this information. For example, in terms of dealing with the types of files in Python, you deal with the text files, you deal with the binary file, you deal with the CSV file. TXT file has got a content, extension .txt. Binary file has got extension .dat, and CSV file has got an extension called CSV, right? Text file, you know about that. It contains textual information, and the binary file contains the records of a student, record of an inventory, record of a book, record of an item, record of employee, record of anything you talk about, right? So it contains records. Though the text file can be used to store records, but generally when you talk about the text file, the first thing that comes in the mind is basically the textual information. The next is CSV file. This is a comma separated values, right? This is comma separated values. So it's basically contains the information in terms of Excel format, right? So information which is basically been there in comma separated, that can be stored in terms of Excel, right? And generally, I mean, they are basically known as the CSV files because they are a kind of information which are separated by the commas and all. So ultimately, in Python, you are going to deal with these sort of files. And whenever you talk about files, we talk about the storage device, the secondary storage device, because these files contains information permanently. Okay, we know we have got two type of memories. One is called RAM and one is called ROM, right? Right. One is called primary memory and one is called secondary memory. Right now we are dealing with the primary memory. The information which is here right now, it's temporary. That means if I try to close it, it will ask me to save this entire thing. If I say no, it will not save it anywhere else. So right now everything which are dealing that is within the RAM. But the content which you have retrieved, the content which you have retrieved from this presentation, it was there within the hard disk, right? It was there in the secondary storage device. And that's why I'm talking about that, why we deal with the file, because we want information to be stored permanently, somewhere else for the later purpose, right? And it's not like that, you open a file and you store the content at one go. You never do like that. Whenever you talk about to store information in terms of file, you always store information like, maybe on hourly basis or daily basis or weekly basis or monthly basis, right? It's not like that at one go you store the entire information. And that's why there's a need to hold these information which you have stored on an hourly basis or daily basis somewhere else, so that later on you could retrieve that information, make some amendment into that, maybe in terms of addition, in terms of deletion, in terms of modification, right? And again, that information which you have updated in terms of addition, deletion, and updation can be stored permanently within the hard disk. So that is the basic purpose of dealing with a file. There's one more, thing which, gives you a bit knowledge about the front end and back end sort of concept. Because you are dealing with the Python ideally right now. So by any language is basically used to design the front end. Any language you talk about, whether it's a Python, whether it's a C++, C, VC++, Visual Basic, Java, ASP, JSP, VBScript, JavaScript, any language you talk about, PHP, these languages are used to design the front end, because front end needs to be flexible, and the languages has got the flexibility, you know and so that, I mean, that front end needs to be designed in such a manner that it is as flexible as can be designed, so that it becomes user friendly for the user, right? And then after, when we interact with that interface, the information which you are trying to store should be able to store information to the hard disk, and that is nothing but the backend. So, this file handling chapter gives you also an idea how you create the front end, right? To front end is nothing but the application to whom the user interacts, and the back end where actually the information you store. Okay, so you are able to design using Python the front end, and at the back end you will be dealing with these three files right now. They will act as a backend to store information of the text files, I mean the textual information, the binary information, and the CSV information. So that was the basic introduction about the file handling. I hope it's clear to all of you. The next is text files. These text files are basically nothing but, as I was talking about, they've got the take.txt extensions, right? And we, store in terms of, in this particular file, maybe the characters, the words, and the lines. So in this text file, we'll be dealing with informations of the characters, or the words, or the lines. Okay, and the questions related to these, will be there based on these only: the characters, the words, and the files, and the lines. For example, count the total number of characters. Count the total number of characters. Uppercase characters. Count the total number of lowercase characters. Count the total number of alphabets present in the file. Count the total number of consonants present in the file. Count the total number of words. Count the total number of word do present in the file. Count the total number of words starting with A. Count the total number of words ending with A. Count the total number of lines. count the total number of lines starting with A, ending with A, lines contains A. That sort of questions will be there based on text files. For all these sort of steps, you need to store information on the file, and then you need to manipulate all these things which I'm talking about with this text file. Binary file contains the informations in terms of records, right? So the records of the records could be of your as I was talking about the student's record could be your roll number, name, marks, and so many other information. Similarly, if you talk about the book, it may contain book ID, book name, author name, price, and so many other information, publishers, and all, right? So these are generally known as information, the records, right? So binary file, I mean the binary file has got an extension .dat, and this will be used to store the information in terms of records. Okay, and the questions related to this will be like search and display the information of all the students. If let's say the binary file contains the information of a student, so the questions belonging to this will be display the information of the students whose percentage is more than 95. Display the information of all the students whose name starts with A. Display the information of all the students whose percentage is between 10 to 20, I mean 90 to 100, and so many other informations, right? You may be asked to delete the information of the students. You may be asked to update the information of the students, or the information which that file is containing, right? And the next is your CSV file. A CSV file contains the comma separated values, and in this again, in comma separated values, the information will be stored in terms of in terms of uh, the the type which is basically dictionary based, right? So you store information in terms of dictionary, and then you write that dictionary to the CSV file, and again you retrieve it in the dictionary form, and then you manipulate that dictionary that way. So we'll be dealing with that. Okay, the all three files are important because one question will definitely be there from each in your board examination. Text file question will be there, binary file questions will be there, and your CSV file based questions will be there. Approximately 10 to 12 mark questions will be there from file handling. So this is very important chapter for you people, right? In practicals, one question will definitely be there either from the CSV file or the binary file or the text file. Okay, and the question will be menu driven. The menu driven means you'll be asked like to enter to deal with a binary file and perform these three basic operations to add the information, to display the information of all the, if let's say the binary file is containing the information of a student, so to add the information of a student, display the information of all the students, and search for a particular student whose roll number is entered by the user. This sort of question will be there in your practical examinations based on your binary file. Based on a text file, again, three options will be there. First, to create a text file and enter information into that. Second, read all the content from the file and display the total number of words containing A. Read all the contents from the file and say a total number of lines starting with A. So on. I mean, these are type of questions which can be framed. Similarly, based on CSV file, the same sort of question will be there, which we have already talked about in terms of binary file. Okay, so that way this chapter is very important. Please understand it properly. Now, what are the operations which we need to carry out with the files? And that is opening text file or any file. It's not only text file, any file you talk about, you need to open the file first, right? And for that, you need to have an object, right? You need to have first of all, obviously the open function is there, which is responsible to open a file. And this open function takes two parameters, one, the file name, and second is the mode, right? You need to specify the file name, and then you need to specify the mode. By default, if you don't specify any extension, by default, it will be treated that the file is your text file. Then you need to specify the mode. Mode could be like, you are performing a read operation, you're performing a write operation, you're performing both the operations, and so on, right? So the operations which are going to perform the file could be read, could be write, could be both read and write, could be append. So, that way we can perform various operations on the file. Here, one thing which you need to know that the default mode is reading. That means if you don't specify the mode, by default, the mode will be read mode. Okay. So this is how you open the text file. Here is an example, like, file equal to open text.txt w. W means it's a write mode, right? Similarly, test.txt, it's a read mode, right? If you want to open a file like, example.txt, and A means append. A means append. That means you are using this file to write information at the end. In this case, you need to understand the difference between the W and append. Both are used to write the information, right, to the file. But in this case, in case of write mode, the pre-existing information will be deleted first, and then the cursor will be placed at the beginning. So the content which is there, which was there, in the file, will be deleted first, and then you write information to the file. So that means the pre-existing information will be overwritten by the new information. That is the concept behind the W mode. Okay, one more time. Whenever you use W mode, whenever you use W mode, the pre-existing information will be deleted. The cursor will be placed at the beginning. Okay, the cursor will be placed at the beginning, and the content will be written from the beginning only. So that way the process seems to be like that, that the existing information is basically being overwritten by the new information. That is the concept behind the W mode. Okay. Uh, then read mode, it will simply read the information from the file, and by default, it will read from the beginning only. By default, it will read from the beginning only. In case of A means append. In case of append mode, the cursor is always placed at the end of the file. For example, you have written, this much of content in the file, and you want to write something else, right? So this A mode is going to place that cursor at this position. If, this is the end of the file, and then it start writing it down content from here. So that means in case of append, the pre-existing information will remain there. Okay, the existing information will remain there, and the content which you're going to write it down will be written at the end of the file. As a result, as a result, you are basically, having the old information as well as the new information. The plus means you are also using this mode for the reading purpose also. So up A means append. After writing it down, information to the file, you are you want that file to be used for the reading purpose also. Okay, so plus means you want to use that file for the reading purpose also. Similarly, when I say W plus, that means you want to use that file for the writing first and then reading second. If I say R plus, that means you want to use this particular file for the initially for the reading purpose, and then later on, if you want to write it down, you can write it down information into that particular file also. So these are certain modes which can be used in any of the file, right? Modes will be changed in terms of in terms of your text file, binary file, and the CSV file, but the basic purpose will remain same. Maybe name will be different. In case of, for example, if we talk about the binary file, it would be like WB, RB, AB, and so on, right? But the meaning will remain same. So this is about a text file objects. Then when I talk about in the previous slide, we can say file equal to open test.txt comma w. This can be written like this, with open as file object. So we can say with open example.txt comma r plus as file. So this thing can be used to open a particular file using with statement. These are certain modes. R in terms of text file, RB in terms of your binary file, right? And similarly W, WB, A, AB, R plus B or RB plus, W, W plus B or WB plus, A plus, A plus B or AB plus, right? These are the modes in text file and binary file. Then we'll be talking about, I hope this part is clear to all of you. And now I'm talking about uh, these topics, the functions to read information from the text file. The functions to read information from the text file. Okay, the first is read file object dot read n. N means you want to read these many bytes or these many characters from the file. Okay, if you don't specify n, it will read the entire content. So when I say f1 dot read, that's all. It will read the entire content. When I say f1 dot read within bracket n, it will read those many characters from the file. Next is read line. When I say f1 dot read line, okay, when I say f1 dot read line, it will read one single line at a time. Understand it properly. Sometimes, it may be asked in your examination the difference between read line, and read line functions. Read is going to read the entire content. If you specify a parameter, that parameter signifies how many number of bytes, because one character occupies 1 byte. So when I say n, that means these many characters you just want to retrieve from the file. And if you don't specify, this is optional. Okay, it's not mandatory. If you don't specify, it will read the entire content from the file. Similarly, when I say f1 dot read line, this is simply going to read one line at a time. This is simply going to read one line at a time. Again, it takes a parameter which is optional. If you don't specify, it will read one line at a time. If you specify, it will read those many lines at a time. That's the difference. Okay. And the read lines functions, it read all the lines which are there in that particular file. Okay. So I hope this part is pretty much clear to all of you, that what is the difference between the read function, read line functions, and read lines functions. Now moving ahead, there's a program based on another text file. It's saying write a program to read a file abc.txt and display the entire information. Okay, so you can clearly see if f1 equal to open d colon abc.txt, right? And then you read the entire content and see. I'll just show you this one using ideally. If I say okay. So this is the program. Within D drive, abc.txt, we just need to check for that file, whether that file is there or not first. Though the program is going to check on its own, but still, if we just check it out within D drive, this abc.txt is there or not. This is the content which is there in the abc. You can clearly see here. Okay, this is the content, computer science at the rate 2020 with Python and so on, right? This is the content which is there in the abc.txt. Now, I'll simply open this file abc.txt, which is there in the D drive. It's saying, write a program to read the file abc.txt and display the entire information. Display the entire information. Okay. So what exactly it does, it will simply go to, a drive called D, and within that you have got a file called abc.txt, right? And then it will, open this file in read mode. In read mode. Okay. F1 is an object. An object is nothing but the handler through which you handle all the properties or all the functions, related to that particular file. So it means F1 is the authorized handler through which you will be able to handle all the functions on this particular file. Now, because now the files handler is this f1, right? Now it's saying s1 equal to f1 dot read. We haven't specified any parameters here. That means this is simply going to read this particular file's content, all the contents as a whole, and store it within a block called S1. So S1 here is nothing but a string which is containing the entire information. When I say print S1, it will simply display all the contents which you have retrieved from the file, and then you close the file. So, when you have been asked, to deal with the file, three basic steps are there. You need to open the file. You need to, perform that basic operation which you're talking about. Right now it's read. So read the entire content or those many content which you're talking about, right? If you want to display it, display it. If you want to count it, or do, whatever the operation that is being asked, and then you close the file. So first operation is to open the file. Second is to read the content. Third, to display, or whatever the operation has been said. And the fourth one is to close the file. These are four steps which you need to do it. Now I'm executing it for a reference. Uh, this is also open from here, so I just need to close it first. And now we'll execute this part. Okay, this is not required here. F1 equal to open, we need to say D colon, path was not there. You need to specify the path. Okay. And this is the path, and execute it. Now we clearly see, the content which was there, like, computer science at the rate 2020 with the Python file. This content was there within the file called abc.txt, and this file was there within the D drive named abc.txt. Okay, so what exactly it does? It will simply open this file abc.txt, which is there in the D drive, right? It will open this file in read mode, and assign one handler named F1 to this particular file. Now this F1 is responsible to perform all the functions on this particular file. Now it's saying F1.read. As we know, F1.read is going to read the entire content. When I say F1.read, it will read all the content and assign that content to S1. And by simply saying print S1, it will simply print the entire content which has been retrieved by this particular statement and display it. Then you finally close the file. So that is what this statement has does. Now the next one is if I say I just want that how many number of elements are there, how many characters are there in the file. Okay, how many characters are there in the file? For that, there's another program here which will simply count the total number of characters present in the file. Okay, so as we know that we just need to specify the object F1 equal to open D colon abc.txt comma R, right? It will open this file in read mode and assign that handler to F1. And saying S1 equal to F1 dot read to read the entire content, assign it to S1, because you just need to count total number of characters. So you can simply say the counter is set as 0, counter equal to 0. For I in S1, it will read one character at a time, keep on incrementing the counter by 1, and display the total number of characters present in the file, right? Then if I execute it, you can clearly see that it shows the total number of characters are 397. I'll just make the change in that particular file so that we can come to know that this file is containing these many characters. If I say, let's say, it's containing computer science only. So how many characters are there? How many characters are there? So it's 1, 2, 3. You can see how many columns are there. This is 16 and this is 17. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 17 characters are there, right? So I'll save it. I save this file. Okay, close this, minimize it, open my Python programs again, execute it, and you can clearly see the total number of characters are 16. 16 characters are there, I guess. Okay, total number of characters are 16. So accordingly, it displays these many characters. Okay. So was it containing 16 character? We'll just count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16 characters are there. So that's why it was displaying 16 characters, right? So this is one of the way how you basically count the total number of characters. So obviously, to count the total number of characters, you need to read it. The content was there in the file. What actually the process was? The file, the content was there in the file. You retrieve the entire content from this file. F1 is going to deal with this particular file. Okay. And since you know that F1 is a handler, which is handling all the reading operations right now because you mentioned it here, right? So it reads the entire content from the file and store it within a block called S1. S1 is a string. Okay, this is within the RAM. This is within the hard disk, and this is within the RAM. So you have retrieved information from hard disk to RAM. Okay. Now, what all you need to do, you need to retrieve one character at a time, one element at a time from the string, and keep on counting them. And finally, you display these many characters are there in the file. So this is the concept actually behind this. This alternate way, because this is a traditional way how you count the total number of characters. But there's another way because the content which you store in S1 is basically in terms of string form. So you know now that there's a function called len which calculates the total number of characters in the string. So this way you can easily do it within a single statement, c equal to len within bracket S1, and it will simply display you the total number of characters present in the file. I'll execute it for you. It says the total number of characters are 16 again, right? So in both the cases, whether you use it the traditional method to count one character at a time from the file, you read the entire content, you keep on counting the content which you have retrieved from the file and display the total number of characters, or you straight away say the len of S1 is going to give you the total number of characters exactly in the same way as you've counted here, right? So this is how you deal with the text file, reading the content, counting the total number of characters and all, right? Okay. Now this is another one, right? We know that read has got a functionality, like it can read the entire content or it can read few characters, right? So we know that we have got 16 characters in that file, and I just want to read only first 10, let's say. So for that, I have opened this file in read mode. I'll ask user, at runtime,